Welcome back, and today we're talking about Yashahime Princess Half Demon episode 1. So like always, let's just jump into it. Episode 1 of Yashahime Princess Half Demon. To me, I feel like it was kind of disappointed by it because let's be real. If we compare this first episode to like Jujutsu Kaisen, When They Cry, heck, even Dragon Quest, right? Those three animes, the first episode were absolutely amazing. And when we compare Yashahime Princess Half Demon to that level of first episode impressions, at least to me, it was pretty average at best. Now, I will say, if you're a fan of Inuyasha, I can see how this episode was great to you because it definitely hits that nostalgia, right? Seeing Kagome and Inuyasha again, I mean, even that well scene, right? Whenever Kagome was coming out and Inuyasha gave her his hand, beautiful moment. Again, it just brings back memories from when I was a kid watching Inuyasha back in, when it was airing in Adult Swim in the early 2000s. And, it was an amazing time back then. But I just don't think that 15, 20 years later, however long it's been since that anime finished, I don't think this episode did it justice. Yes, we got a little bit of references here and there. We got to see some of our favorite characters again. I believe we got to see like the whole cast, right? We got to see Kogame, Inuyasha. We got to see Sesshomaru, Miroku. I forgot the other woman's name, but yeah, we get to see essentially the whole cast. And I will say, if it wasn't for that nostalgia, I feel like this anime would have just been, I would have dropped it right here and then, because this fall season of 2020 is packed with anime. Great anime. There are other animes I want to watch, and I just don't have the time to do so because, I mean, it's just way too many this season. Way too many. It's a good problem to have, I will say. Now, this was just the first episode, so I'm not really going to judge it on the first episode. I think I'll keep watching it. I just don't know if I'm going to keep making videos on it. I'll have to see how this goes. But yeah, overall, this episode starts off with Towa Higarashi. That's the Princess Half Demon. From what it looks like, she can actually go back to the modern day Japan, and she's coming back and forth. I mean, and somebody, I guess, brought the book, the history book, and then they found Kagome's bicycle saddle and stuff like that. So, she doesn't want to change history. So getting all these different items could potentially hurt the future and stuff like that. So, of course, the princess is kind of, concerned about that. But then we go back to Kogame and Inuyasha, and again, seeing those characters definitely hits that nostalgia button. It's absolutely great. I loved it. And I will say, I was used to watching Inuyasha dub, so hearing his voice in Japanese for the first time was kind of weird because I just remember from what I remember Inuyasha, his voice was not like this one, but that's just a little minor inconvenience. I'll get used to it. Again, I love watching anime in sub. It's just that, when I translate like animes that I grew up watching in dub to Japanese, it feels kind of weird. Again, Dragon Ball Z is a perfect example. I watch Dragon Ball Super and stuff like that in dub if I can because I'm used to hearing those type of voices in dub, but it's alright. No big deal. Now, they're dealing with a root demon that can actually, get strength and more powerful by eating corpses and humans and stuff like that and draining the energy. And Inuyasha, Miroku, they're fighting this demon trying to, expel it and kill it, but it's really hard because you have to hit the real body and it's just summoning parts of it, so they can't actually just one-shot it or anything like that. And I will say, when we got the Tessaiga, the sword that Inuyasha uses, I mean, again, that nostalgia was there. It was great. I loved that moment. I used to love that sword. It looks old, but once you get it out and you do whatever you need to do, it transforms into that huge sword. Absolutely great. Again, the nostalgia is here. That's what this episode is supposed to do. I feel like, it could have done a little bit better explaining some of the stuff in the past by either showing flashbacks and stuff like that. I mean, Miroku is a perfect example. We see Miroku right here, and definitely him not having that little black hole on his palm of his hand is a huge downgrade to his power, right? Because in the original Inuyasha, he used to have a curse that in his palm of his hand, he will have like a black hole, and he was able to just consume everything in there. Of course, it was a double-edged sword because he couldn't control it, right? If he exposed that hole, it would just suck everything in. It didn't matter what it was. It could be a friend, a foe. It didn't matter. So he had to cover it. He had to use it really strategically. And the fact that he's looking at his hand saying, damn, I kind of wish I had it now, because it would be easy work to get rid of this demon. But, that curse is done and over with. But I feel like a flashback would have done justice, because I don't think a lot of people that started watching this anime actually have seen Inuyasha. Maybe some have gone back, but I don't think a lot of people have. Overall, I will say this episode was an okay episode. I don't know if I'm going to continue watching it. Again, we got the Irregular or Magic High School coming up later, so I'm really excited about that one. But overall, I will say this is like my first disappointed episode in this season. I'm sure there's going to be more coming down the drain, but overall, if I had to say, this episode was just okay. It didn't really set up the future of the anime very well. Yes, at the end of the episode, we got to meet Setsuna and Moraha, I believe. Those are going to be the main 3 characters of this anime. Maybe episode 2, we'll get to see what happens with Kagome, Inuyasha, Sushamaru, because I don't think they're dead, right? I don't think they're dead, or maybe something does happen to them. We'll have to see. But, you know, I do like the fact that Inuyasha and Kagome, they're still in the anime. They're still showing us what they're doing. Hopefully, when we get into the current timeline of these kids, they're not dead, because I really don't, I'm really tired of the whole, you know, the parents are dead, so that's the only way we can keep up with the kids, you know. Hopefully they stay alive, hopefully they help out, hopefully it's a great adventure, because it needs to do Inuyasha justice. But yeah, like always, let me know what you thought of this episode. Go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode.